Welcome to Student Connections, our students connecting with our community.
Hello and welcome to N6, your hometown station. Today we'll be interviewing Mr. Hurley and Mrs. Tanya, two people of which have been working at the Marysville Bus Garage for quite some time now. We'd like to find out what it's like getting to take students to school every single day and what it's like getting to travel around the state of Michigan, driving students for field trips, sporting events, and anything else. Now, Mr. Hurley, we know that the Marysville Bus Garage has been around in your family for quite some time now and is basically part of a tradition to be a part of. How did this begin, and how did you become part of the industry yourself?
Actually, Marysville School Bus Incorporated started in 1948 by my grandfather after he got back from World War II. He served in the Navy, moved back to Smiths Creek and then into Marysville, started the business. It was a need. Students needed it to get to and from school. We started that tradition. My father took over the company and ran it. I actually was an elementary teacher for about 6 years, an elementary school principal for 7 years, and then about 3 years ago transitioned into this role. I was ready for a new challenge, and it's just something that I've actually always grown up with and was ready to move into that avenue in my life.
What is it like being the owner of a bus garage, and is it ever difficult to maintain staff members?
There's obviously lots of challenges that come with it. Road conditions, you're worried about other drivers, you're worried about the safety of all the students. There's a lot of regulations that we have to follow, so a lot of behind the scene things that have to get done and maintain. Buses need to be maintained. Drivers, we're lucky we have a phenomenal group of drivers at the bus garage. Nationwide, there's a huge shortage in bus drivers right now. It's there's kind of some funny hours. You work in the morning and then in the afternoon, so it's not always appealing to everyone, but the crew that we have right now, the staff there is amazing and they're great to work with.
What was a quality you saw in Mrs. Tanya that gave you the desire to hire her?
Actually, Miss Tanya was hired by my grandfather, but I can tell you what those qualities are. She's a hard worker, she loves her kids, she's dedicated, you can depend on her for anything and everything, so she's amazing.
Now, Mrs. Tanya, what inspired you to become a bus driver, and how long have you been driving for?
When my daughter was in school, I thought this would be a good job for when she's on summer vacation. I would be on summer vacation, holidays, we'd both be off. But she graduated in 2007, and I'm still driving. So I guess I like the job a lot.
We've heard that you drive for elementary students to and from school every single day, and we all know how crazy they can be to maintain on the bus. Is it hard to keep the little ones under control and to maintain keeping your eyes on the road?
Well, since I've been out on this same run for 18 years, and all the people that live out there are my neighbors, because that's where I live, I don't have a hard time with them. Sometimes I just might say, do I got to talk to your mom or your dad? And then they're good.
What is your favorite part about having this job, and why?
I love to drive, and I get along really good with little children. So,
bringing the questions back to Mr. Hurley, we understand that you are the head of the bus company when it comes to the Marysville Bus Garage. What is your favorite part of your job, and why?
New challenges. Every day is a little bit different. As I said, there's between the drivers and interacting with students and scheduling of the trips, working with various administrators in the schools. Every day is a little bit different, and I enjoy that.
Being the owner of a business is difficult for anybody. Is there anything specific that you find really difficult, or is it a lot running the whole business in general?
When you have great people to work with, great drivers, great mechanic, great administrative assistant in the office manager, it really helps out a lot. It's a great team there. Most challenging thing is worrying about field trips and they come back until 8, 9 at night, making sure that they're back. Those early mornings in the winter when the roads are a little dicey, very nerve-wracking out there. Or just kind of a lot of, you worry about it more than anything, but like I said, we got a great crew, so.
When you search for new drivers, what qualities do you look for in that person?
One, they gotta like kids, students, their management, how they interact, Are they dependable? Are they trustworthy? They got to have a good, clean driver's record, obviously. And their relationships. Can they build relationships with students, with their coworkers, with the parents? So those are some of the big things I look for.
Mrs. Tanya, we know that just about every year you're adding students onto your bus, and typically those new students would be the ones just entering into kindergarten. Is it difficult to learn the new routes and new bus stops?
Well, the roads that I drive on are all the same, but when they do throw in a new house, occasionally it does take you time, so you just drive by the student and go, oh, I had a stop back there I probably should have stopped for. But after you do it a few weeks or whatever, then you get used to it.
What's the funniest mishap you can ever remember having with a student on the bus, and what makes it so memorable?
Just last year, I had 2 kindergartners, and the one was aggravating the other one, so he reached underneath the seat, grabbed the little boy's shoe, and threw it out the window on Gratiot. And so then I asked, they were like, Miss Tanya, his shoe, he doesn't have a shoe on. And I'm like, where's your shoe? And he said that he just threw it out the window. So I had to tell both parents, come back and tell Mr. Hurley. And so the one parent took his son and they went out on Gratiot, got his shoe, and gave it back to the little boy the next day. So that had never happened before. I thought that was pretty funny.
Was there ever any problems you ran into while driving? For example, maybe an accident or any problem with the school bus itself?
Mainly, I guess the weather would be the main problem. When those snowstorms come in last minute and we don't know about it, and your windshield wipers are getting all with ice and snow, and we're driving down Smith Creek and you got to get out of your bus with kids on the bus and clear your wipers, that can be quite stressful.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys coming in today.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Well, this is all we have today for what it's like being a school bus driver and a small-town bus garage owner. Thank you for joining us. See you again next time on M6, your hometown station.